So Days Gone is a title that, feels like it came out so long ago, and we've been waiting and waiting for a sequel to this game. And I've talked on the YouTube channel about Days Gone 2 and this game that many of us would love to see a continuation of this title, of this franchise, this IP. And I want to talk about, some of the things that we know, some of the more recent developments of Days Gone 2. Could we potentially see this game in the future? Let's talk about it, guys. So this is coming to us from the official Days Gone Wikipedia page. On April 9, 2021, Jason Schreier of Bloomberg News revealed Bend Studio had pitched a sequel to Days Gone, but that the first game's mixed critical reception and lengthy development process caused Sony to reject the proposal. Shortly afterward, Ross confirmed Days Gone 2 had been pitched to Sony, but that many of the details could not be confirmed due to a non-disclosure agreement. He revealed that part of the plan for the sequel was a shared universe with co-op play, which was not included in the original Days Gone due to staffing constraints. While appearing on a podcast with David Jaffe, the creator of God of War franchise, Garvin said, "If you love a game, buy it at the full price," and implied Days Gone did not receive a sequel partly because it did not turn enough profit. Garvin came under fire for his comments. Commenters said Days Gone had already benefited from fan support during its release and that it was unreasonable to ask someone to spend $70 on an unknown game. Others noted that Sony ultimately controls sales of PlayStation games and offers free demos, and the blame could not be placed entirely on the purchasers. Following Garvin's comments, Jensen thanked players for their support no matter when they had purchased or played it. So first of all, obviously, some of the stuff that I feel with what happened to Days Gone, some of it I think are a number of excuses. I feel that Sony not greenlighting it, saying that it was like a lengthy, it was a lengthy development process, but this is a title that sold multi-millions of copies and stuff. And so, I have a hard time believing that was really the problem here. Maybe it was, from a marketing perspective and everything else, that might have been part of it. I think it was more, some more internal issues that really could have hurt this, because when you start hearing about, talking about, paying full price for a game and things of that nature, I think if Days Gone 2 came out today, we would be more than happy to pay, the full price for it because, we've been asking for it for a long time. According to David Jaffe, then Chief Executive Officer of SIE Worldwide Studios, Sean Layden had vigorously supported Days Gone, but as soon as Layden left his role in September 2019, Jaffe said Days Gone was dead. Jaffe said that when trying to pitch a sequel, it was just an uphill battle the whole time, and Ross stated that Sony requested if Sony intellectual properties could be used instead, like Siphon Filter. Ross said the sequel would have explored a more technical direction among detailing other features. Ross claimed that the game had sold over 8 million copies, yet was treated as a disappointment by local studio management. This was in response to the announcement that Ghost of Tsushima, another SIE first-party game, had sold over 8 million copies. The sales numbers provided by Ross were disputed as they were based on a PlayStation Trophy data tracking site. Ross went on to say that at Bend Studio, he saw Days Gone sell over 5 million copies. The tracking site at the time suggested 5.8 million copies sold. So, he's saying, obviously, 8 million and 5.8, there's a pretty big discrepancy there, but even 5.8 million copies, that's a lot of copies sold for a brand new IP. And yes, Ghost of Tsushima, unbelievable game, guys, sold, over 8 million copies. It's awesome. And we're getting a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. We're going to be talking about that here on the show here. But I would have to say 5.8 million copies for a brand new IP is still very, very good. This is why it sounds like there were a lot of internal issues as a team. Even though Days Gone, I don't think was like the greatest zombie game ever made. There were a lot of really cool elements that they could have built off of from that first title. And it seems to me that, like I said, there were a lot of internal issues between the developer and then the publisher, that being Sony. It's going to be hard to say if we're ever going to get a Days Gone 2. I think that really what it's going to come down to, guys, is maybe Sony selling the IP to another, smaller third-party company, or, somebody, over at the team goes back to Sony and continues to pitch it and tries to mend those almost broken bridges, so to speak. It'll be really interesting, to say the least, what happens here in the future, but I'll keep you guys posted as we get more information about Days Gone 2. If you want Days Gone 2 to come out, it's going to be very important that we are vocal on social media about this to the developers and to the publishers, that being Sony, that we want to see this game come out. Let me know though, guys, do you want to see a Days Gone 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Days Gone 2 content and videos, stay here with zrotv.